Thank you so much. I begin in the name of God, the most compassionate, the most merciful, and I greet you with the prayer, may peace be upon you. That is how we Muslims are taught to begin any task and any interaction with other people. And this reflects the essence of what Islam is all about and what a Muslim is meant to do all day, every day. That is, dedicate everything you do to God for the sake of cultivating peace for yourself and others. It's not just about you as an individual. That's very important to note. Another way to understand the essence of Islam and what a Muslim does is to understand the meaning of the word Islam. The word Islam has two primary meanings, the way Muslims use it. The first meaning is to surrender or submit, and the second is peace. And the way those two meanings are connected is that Islam is the peace you experience when you surrender or submit yourself to God. And so a Muslim is someone who is actively striving for peace through the practice of surrendering or submitting themselves to God. So when we think about a Muslim's everyday life, I'll speak from the I. Most of the day, I'm doing seemingly completely mundane things. Eating, sleeping, walking from point A to point B, cleaning around the house, sending work-related emails, grocery shopping, you name it. But these mundane seeming tasks become acts of worship, acts of a Muslim, acts of Islam, when I remember to engage in them with God consciousness, with the intention of pleasing God, and by doing these things in ways that are pleasing to God. So, for example, if I'm walking from point A to point B, I hope I remember to start my walk in the name of God. Then, you think about, okay, Islam teaches me that I should not walk with pride. I should walk with an attitude of humbleness. So maybe as I walk, I make sure I am not harming that little ant that might be crawling on the ground. I don't push around other people for my convenience or in my hurry to walk. I have to remember that even being able to walk is a blessing of God. After all, not everyone is able to walk. So to be grateful to God for giving me the ability to walk. And then to ensure that I'm walking to wherever I'm going for a legitimate and moral purpose. So if I'm walking across the room to go fight with someone that, I'm annoyed with or something, well, that's not pleasing to God. That's not what Islam teaches us. And so if I walk with that un-Islamic purpose, then my walk is not the walk of a Muslim in that moment. But on the other hand, if I say, okay, I'm going to walk with the intention to go and engage with this person with kindness and compassion and to arrive at a peaceable resolution, then I'm walking in that moment as a Muslim. And there are even more layers to how I walk as a Muslim or do anything else for that matter. I will highlight just one more layer that is very critical, and that is to act in a prayerful manner. If there's one thing you can observe Muslims doing a lot of every day, it's engaging in prayer. And that is both formal ritual prayer, that is done at specific times in very specific ways, but also a lot of the informal kind, where you just ask God to help you do whatever it is that you need to do, or want to do. Even things like walking from point A to point B. And this is connected to the idea of, again, acting with humbleness rather than pride. So with humbleness, you realize that when it comes to our relationship with God, we are 100% dependent on God. I'm dependent on God to allow me to walk, enable me to walk. I depend upon God to help me maintain the good intentions to walk as a Muslim. Because as a human, I'm totally prone to forgetting and getting distracted and taking God's blessings for granted. Furthermore, even if I want to say, okay, I want to walk in the best ways or do whatever I want in the ways that are most pleasing to God, I don't even know what that way is unless God blesses me with that knowledge. So I have to pray to God for everything, for help with everything. And, the last thing I will say in humbleness, and with humbleness I realize that even when I have the best intentions and I put in my very best efforts, there's always room for improvement in my level of surrender and in my experience of peace and peaceful living. And so I end everything that I do by asking God forgiveness. And in praying to God for forgiveness, I pray for all of us, because again, it's not just about me. So God, please forgive us, erase all the negative impacts of any of my doings, any of our doings, and allow us to draw ever closer to you. Thank you.
Thank you, Samia.